Welcome back to another most dramatic Bachelorette episode ever. Review with my sweet wife, Jenny. We are reviewing 2 episodes tonight. It's a double feature, as they say. And we're going to talk a little bit about the episode from last week and the episode from tonight. Last week, Noah lost a stash and then got a rose. Do you remember? You don't remember that?
I remember
that was a long time ago.
Last week?
Yeah, this is my notes from last week. Also, before we get into it, ABC, you should be ashamed. For some reason, the sound mix is horrible. We have a surround sound theater, humble brag, but the whole show was coming out of the rear speakers. It was so weird.
Only on that channel, yeah.
Yeah, we tested other channels and it was jacked up, and I don't know, it's really bothering me. And it happened again tonight. I fixed it because I ran it through all 5 speakers, but it's just, sorry. That's just from the Popcorn Priest. I'm an audio guy, and it really bothered me. So get your crap together, ABC and Bachelorette. Figure out your mix. The group date from last week, they had to write a song for Tayshia. Do you remember? It was a train wreck. Do you remember, like, the dudes singing? It was really bad.
One guy did really good. Was that Riley?
I don't remember. I remember Bennett was rapping. The guy from Harvard was rapping, and that wasn't great. And then Ivan, he didn't try to sing with all of them because he sucked rocks. And that was a good move because he shouldn't have sang. And then Bennett was smiling like he got the rose. But then Ivan ended up getting it. And then all their faces dropped. Do you remember that? Mm-mm. And then they go to a date. Floor is Lava is like a Netflix plug. Because remember that date that they went on?
Well, what fun can you have when you're just in your room? So that was kind of fun.
I know. I'm just... They did a good job.
Was it Ivan or Riley? I thought it was Riley.
No, Riley's the guy with the pencil mustache. And Ivan is I don't know how to say this, the kinder eyes, and he has a beard. Then Riley's the guy that doesn't smile. I don't know how I never know the guys' names, and now I know all their names.
I know, I'm usually the one.
And then remember, I wrote this down, Willy Wonka must have made the sundae that they ate. It was as big as a toddler. Do you remember at the end of the date, they were eating?
Yeah, there's no way anybody would ever eat that. Like, why?
At least 5 gallons of ice cream. And it was like dripping all over the place.
I know.
That was crazy. Then the next group date, Chris Harrison, he's eating lobster and drinking champagne, and he had to sign that guy's booty cheek. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
But then it ended up only being his upper leg that he ended up signing. He didn't pull his pants all the way down. The Truth or Dare was a little too much. Do you remember that? Remember Becca comes from the other season, and then another contestant, and then they have to drink
the smoothies.
And then that one dude had to eat a ghost pepper. Do you know what a ghost pepper is?
No, they all did, and then they had to propose.
Oh, they all did. That's right.
I thought it was an habanero.
And you've never eaten a ghost pepper, and I haven't either, but I've eaten some chile de árbol, which is a really hot pepper. And you can't think about anything. And those guys' proposals were really good.
Maybe they ate the shake after.
I was surprised at how good they were even after eating a full ghost pepper. That was crazy. And I like how she compliments 2 to 3 dudes and then gives the rose to one of those. I really like that.
She's usually the last one, yeah.
That's kind of been a trend with her, and that's none of the Bachelorettes have ever done that, and I kind of like that. It's cool. It's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben and Ed goes at night to go seek her out at night. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Ed made it first to see her, and then
ended up at the wrong. Oh no.
No, and then but it was Chris Harrison that he ends up meeting with, and then has a drink with him. Yeah, Ed. So Ben ends up getting to her room, and Ed can't find her room, and ends up knocking on Chris Harrison's door and has a drink with him, and then ultimately just goes home.
I know.
Or goes back to his room.
Yeah.
That was funny. Nice move, Ben, with the strawberry bubbly. Remember, he went over and was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't like reach out to you or whatever." And then they have this.
Because he waited till the last minute.
Yeah, and she was kind of bummed about that.
Yeah, she's like, "Well, the night's over."
Yeah, but then he surprises her. We thought it was going to be Ed showing up, but it was him ordering room service, which I thought was a good move. So I have to. You don't really care about this, but Ed looks like Sly Stallone. one of my favorite 80s action hero actors, but Ed's got to go. And I said this in my notes from last week, and I feel the same way this week.
Yeah, I think his time is up.
How do you feel about the relationship contract with Riley?
What do you mean?
Remember, he has like a relationship contract, and they like over it and sign it
because he wants to be her boyfriend.
I don't know, but I know he's a lawyer,
just a cute way to make it official.
I don't know. I thought it was lame.
They got to stand out. They got to do different stuff. So
I only have a couple more things for this last episode, but Noah blows up at the cocktail party. Do you remember that?
Well, he makes Tayshia upset.
Yeah, and then
for
the dudes,
no apparent reason.
Well, I misspoke that because he didn't blow it up, but because of him, it got blown up. Like they were supposed to have a cocktail party, and then she cancels it. Remember?
Right.
And then the dudes are looking around. Even Easy's like, "Why is it canceled?" And they were all confused. Bennett demands an apology for the men and Tayshia. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, but it was just one guy, and she kind of like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last two things I have is bye-bye breast tat. He got sent home. Mm-hmm. I don't remember his name, but he's gone.
The boy band
manager guy. And then Joe, and then two other dudes that I have no clue who they were. So they're gone.
Right.
All right, moving on to episode 2. This is tonight's episode. JoJo makes an appearance from her season. She was season 12, which we think that she's just there to give advice for Tayshia because she's, she has her for breakfast or whatever. But then, I mean, like she needs more TV notoriety. She has her own show on HGTV. I don't know if her publicist is like, "Hey, can I be on the show?" Like, I don't know how that works. But anyway, she's on the show, so Chris makes an announcement, and he's got to leave to send his kid to college, and then JoJo becomes Chris Harrison.
Yeah, which you don't see her except for once.
And I felt like she was like talking like. He was making this really cool introduction, and then she just walks all over him.
Just steps right in, which I mean, don't know, maybe she was supposed to, but it was kind of interesting because I thought he was going to kind of induce her.
Oh, maybe her husband needs to know about something.
No, cut that part out. He was trying to introduce her, and then I felt like she just kind of stepped right in.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
she's good.
They talked about it. I don't know. But if she's been on camera before, she's going to be comfortable. Like,
yeah, it would have been nice for her to just acknowledge Chris for a second, but whatever. Zach C gets the one-on-one.
Yes, and we find out he was married as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes her more.
Well, we don't find that out yet because they do a dress up in a wedding pictures, and then after the wedding pictures,
the dinner.
Yeah, he reveals that he's been married. Which, how many of the dudes now have been married? I mean, at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, but a lot of them are older. Remember?
I mean, it's fine. I don't care, but it's like, Do they not have chance? What?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's comfortable to her because she's been married too.
No, I think for all the guys who have been married, it's good for them and for Tayshia because it's a commonality that they share. But you'd think they would share that earlier, right?
Well, maybe they didn't know she was. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like a lot, it's not a lot. It's good. But Tayshia wasn't feeling the pictures initially, but then they started to relax. And then Zach was sweating so hard, sweating multiple bullets. And it's not just
I'm sure
like
it's hot and he's in a suit.
Well, I mean they're in where are they in Palm Springs and he's in a full suit, like a tuxedo. But it was like at first you could see it on his neck, and then he's literally just dripping. And then they showed the pictures, and they have to blur his face a little bit because he's sweating so much. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. They ended up having fun.
That was a fun date.
It was a fun date. So it seems like Tayshia likes the dudes that have been once married and kind of out of her league, and that's not in a bad way. Like they're out of her league, not the other way around. Like I feel like Zach and Brendan are both kind of goofy looking dudes, and she's out of their league. Like but
she's liking him, so.
But she's liking him. And then we find out this guy is dropping bombs over Baghdad. Brain tumor at 23. Then he's drinking, doing drugs, gets married, arrested, DUI, wife leaves him, 4.5 months in rehab. That's intense. I mean, I'm not judging him for his actions, but like, how would you feel? We're on a date and I just tell you all these.
I feel like it's good that he opened up to her.
Yeah, I did feel like.
I mean, if that's your past, it's your past. Like, I mean, yeah, it could be a lot, but a lot of people have, like I said, they're older guys, so they've lived different lives. It's not like they're like, just getting out of college. Like, things happen and people struggle or they. Yeah, no, I'm not judging him. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel like she brushed it over like it was nothing. And I'm sure he's clean, and I know he's an addiction specialist now, which is cool. He's helping other people with the same issues, but like you should raise a red flag to just be like, okay, I need to dig into this a little further. Well, and we don't know what the rest of the conversation was.
True.
We do know what happened on the Ferris wheel at the end.
Oh yeah, he drops his rose.
Or something, I don't know.
Or some screw gets loose from the thing. Then we go to the group date, which we're almost at the end of the episode. There's naked art, more nudity comes into play. I love Blake's comment. It's priceless that he's like, I will not get nude a third time. I am not down with that.
I'm glad they didn't have to too.
Yeah, and then they all calmed down, but it was pretty hilarious. And then Bennett keeps going at it about Noah, which is a precursor to what's going to happen at the end of the episode. But like, the dudes just need to stop talking about everybody else. It doesn't help their case at all. And I wrote down there, I think he's going to be going home. Obviously, we don't spoiler alert. We don't find out who goes home, but there's basically an impromptu, what do they call it, a 2-on-1 before the cocktail party. So here's my question to you as a lady and my wife. So fighting is not cool, right? Obviously Tayshia's not down with it,
right?
But when is it right to fight? Like, because sometimes the ladies like the dudes who are like fighting for them, right? I want to ask you. I don't know. I don't have the answer.
It depends on the person. I just don't think Tayshia has a tolerance for any of it. Because any guy that's been an issue like that, she's.
But what about like Noah jumping in on it was like the date where they were doing wrestling or whatever, and he jumps in and kind of fights for her. Like,
yeah, she liked that.
So I don't get it. When is it? Sometimes it's cool to fight for your lady, and other times it's petty, and they don't like it.
Because when he jumped the gate to get in, he was fighting for her. With Bennett, they're just fighting between each other. And that's why she's not. So fighting for her is different than fighting amongst another.
But from Bennett's perspective, he's fighting for her to get rid of Noah.
Yeah, it's just dumb. Don't ever do that. We've already talked about this. If you go on the show, don't fight with anybody. You just look like an idiot.
That's true.
And it's just dumb.
That's true. Then we get Ben. So everyone has to draw a picture of themselves, self-portrait, after they draw the nude couple, which is awkward. We won't even talk about that. Next subject. So they're talking about they're showing all their self-portraits, and this episode is so sad and heavy, and
no, it's what she wants. It's bringing.
I feel like it's a therapy session. The whole episode is so sad.
It's good.
He's getting self-conscious about what he's going to say, because everyone's saying these really nice, deep, self-introspective things.
Which I thought was awesome.
Which is awesome. And she actually cries because she has so much emotion about it. And then Ben comes out in a robe, and it's the only time where like he's full on nude, but it's like cool. It's like, okay. It's like, all right, you're vulnerable.
I don't
know. But anyway, so much baggage.
I think she really likes Ben.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
And then I wrote down, it was when it was on the group date, because they continue the group date later, and then Ben drops the bulimia bomb. That's crazy.
It's just a lot for her to take in. But like I said, everyone's got something. We're just seeing them more. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm glad that he had clothes on so that she could pin the rose to something, right?
Right.
It's just, I just felt sad for everybody. It's just a lot of people go through lots of stuff, and it's just sad sometimes. I don't know. I just was sad. We find out again, Tayshia calls out Noah and Bennett. She's going to squash the beef. And then there's a one-on-one with Easy, and she snuck up on him because it was like a scary haunted house date. She snuck up on him with a big flashlight and
like camera light or something.
Like he didn't see that.
Well, he probably wasn't expecting it, but I'm surprised she sent him home, to be honest.
Yeah. The popcorn priest is sad. He was my favorite. I love it. Easy. Take it easy, Easy. You're my boy. He's gone. Moment of silence for Easy. He's so cool. I'm like, wish I could be as cool as Easy. Not sure. Do you feel like, so the very, very last 2 seconds of the episode, we've got Bennett and Noah on the impromptu 2-on-1. Bennett gives Noah a present. Do you feel like, is he being condescending or not?
I don't know. I thought he was being genuine, but then he's kind of felt like,
so too.
But he's kind of a little bit being, I don't know, or if he's just trying to be like, I'm not as bad as, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Noah's not having it. No,
he's angry. And granted, they're two different dudes. You got a 24-year-old guy, kind of doesn't, lacks life experience. And then you got Bennett, who's a Harvard grad, who probably has he's ready for marriage. Not to say that Noah isn't, but I don't know. And then the last thing is, what's in the box? What's in the box? That's what Tayshia says. It's a reference to a movie. Any parting thoughts?
No, I think that, I don't know who she's going to send home. I think she's going to send Bennett, but I kind of want her to send Noah home.
I don't know who I want her to send home, to be honest.
I think and the real ceremony, I think Ed's time is up.
Yeah, Ed needs to go. Sorry, Sly Stallone. But you gotta go.
We'll have to see.
That's my Sly Stallone impression. It's pretty good.
Oh, jeez.
So we think Ed's gonna go home. Obviously, Bennett or Noah. I really think it's gonna be Bennett. She's gonna feel sorry for Noah. That's what's gonna happen. Prediction right here. You heard it first here on the Popcorn Priest most dramatic review episode ever. We'll see. Drop it. Jenny's over here dropping the mic. With that, we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.